Click button, get thing. This is the promise of a product that just works. Do you need dinner? Just click. A car to the airport? Tap to pick up. If you want entertainment, you don't even need to lift a finger.
Wow.
Click button, get thing. Simple, right? But behind this convenience lies a hidden maze of complexities that make it all possible. Processes that are invisible to the buyer, but crucial to the seller, especially to make sure that they avoid prison time and financial ruin. So how did we get here? What sophistication is occurring in the background to make all of this work? We're gonna dive into all of that, and by the end, make sure you understand the evolution of the transaction. Before there were even humans, organisms have had to engage in give and take relationships just to survive. Humans have been exchanging resources for eons. The idea of bartering is simple. I mean, say I'm out on my apple orchard. My neighbor peers over the fence and asks if he can trade for an apple. In return for my apples, he'll give me a few eggs. But is it really that simple in practice? What if my apples are secretly rotten to the core and my neighbor feels that he didn't get a fair deal? What if my neighbor lied about eggs being farm fresh? Or what if my neighbor demands more apples for fewer eggs? There aren't many checks and balances in a bartering society, and a faulty transaction might even be settled in blood. As society has advanced, we've mitigated some of these issues. Currency has adapted and changed for thousands of years, from cattle or livestock to shells to paper backed by the value of a shiny rock, gold. So in lieu of valuing my apples for my neighbor's eggs, the advent of currency means our goods are assigned a certain value. And I'm grateful for this, so I don't have to carry around a bucket of apples wherever I need supplies. Now I'm moving on from exchanging my apples for eggs and starting Ben's Apples, a full-fledged apple business where people from all over town pay me in cold hard cash in exchange for my delicious apples. But when I look at my end of month statement, my net profit is less than it should be. Sales tax. And look, I know some of you are already in the comments talking about why this tax is great and this tax is bad, or no taxes should ever exist. Look, taxes do exist as of the making of this video, so let's just talk about what they mean. The idea of taxation is to fund public spending, programs, or other government expenditures. It's not a new concept either. Some of the earliest recorded artifacts of civilization are tax receipts, recorded on clay tablets dating back to 5,000 years ago. Now I need to make sure I'm keeping Ben's Apples financials in order so that I don't end up in big trouble. Whether you're watering your apple trees or building the latest software, it takes valuable time away from focusing on your product. To get a complete picture of this, I spoke with Paddle's CFO, Philip Watson.
There's always a new tax that pops up. The rate changes, that cost, as I say, like really ramps as a company gets bigger. So when you're small, maybe the cost of non-compliance is slow. I admit that. I think that's reasonable. And there are other things you're focused on as you're building. As you get bigger, it just compounds. It doesn't grow linearly. It compounds because of the fines, because of the penalties, because of the exit implications.
It isn't just taxes that can sink your business either. Any attempt at cheating the system means harsh penalties or jail time. In the early days of industry, payroll schemes, charity schemes, and identity theft cropped up more and more as the economy grew and slowly became reformed. So I'm hard at work building Ben's Apples, and I haven't heard the news that there's a new town-wide tax on apples. I haven't been accounting for it. Now I have to deal with legal troubles and tax compliance issues that could ruin my entire company. I mean, I guess it beats a duel in the streets like the bartering days, but it's a devastating blow nonetheless.
If I am a merchant, I only have so much money to spend on things. Like I think I want to go spend it on making the best product I can make, not like sales tax returns around the world.
Fortunately, I was able to pay the tax and my business can continue, but I want to figure out how I can expand beyond my town. A solution for this was born in 1861 when a Welsh draper named Price Jones launched his own catalog that offered a variety of wares. Amazingly enough, in a pre-internet world, Price was able to offer next-day delivery with a warehouse right next to the train station. With the railroad in full swing and a reformed post office, his mail order catalog was a great success. The details on how payments were received are a bit murky, but according to a different catalog from the 1890s, the ordering process looked pretty straightforward. Simply fill out the form and put in the envelope with your payment. Costs could be covered in cash, money order, postage, or even collected through a local bank. The mail order business was very diverse. In the early 1900s, you could even buy an entire house from Sears. Thanks to Price, you no longer need to go to the store to buy Ben's apples. Now you can get them from all over the country. Just get a copy of the new Benco delivery catalog and order a Granny Smith or Red Delicious right to your door. It's a huge win for everyone involved, right? Well, on the seller's side, it once again becomes increasingly complicated. A diverse set of customers from a diverse set of places means a diverse set of taxes. Sales taxes aren't uniform anymore like they were when I was just selling to my small community. Also, I need to make sure that I have merchant bank accounts set up wherever I have a substantial customer base, including international.
The States is very complicated sales tax wise because you don't have a federal sales tax, you have state sales taxes, local sales taxes, smaller than local jurisdictional taxes, things like that. And all of those various jurisdictions, I think there are literally thousands of them. I don't remember, you have to do it right in each one or you owe money.
It doesn't stop with state-to-state tax either. For that sale over the border into Canada, you need to consider the tax laws that vary from country to country as well. On top of that, they use completely different currency, so that also needs to be converted. The complications around refunds and chargebacks also have to be dealt with from a distance. Essentially, opening up selling to customers around the globe means opening yourself up to unique regulatory challenges that each country offers. Hurdling those challenges means great success, but tripping up could mean disaster.
Taxes do matter globally. Apple just got fined on a tax case here in the EU, 13 billion euros. I've read about of literally countries detaining executives from companies who have come in who are violating tax rules, for example, and withholding their passport.
Now, although Benco has a ton of new customers from all over the globe, we have our accountants working overtime to keep the books in check. Despite the success of mail order catalogs and a boom in selling, there's always going to be a capitalistic opportunity to iterate on the convenience of the transaction. Thankfully, the internet and computer technology came along to make that desire a reality, and to create unprecedented frictionless experience for buyers. The internet's great, I'm sure you've heard of it. With new forms of payments like credit cards and online stores drastically increasing in popularity, buying is now accomplished with the swipe of a credit card or the click of a mouse. Gone are the days of sending money by mail or taking a trip out to the apple orchard or trading my apples for your eggs. If you want an apple from Benco, now all you have to do is go to Bencom and click a button or two. Apples right to your doorstep. 20% of all retail sales are now carried out digitally, and that number is growing by the year. But this technology boom only means more financial headaches from the seller's side. On top of the taxes, fraud, and currency conversions that have existed for hundreds of years came new problems. For example, when selling globally online, you need to consider the hundreds of popular payment methods in various regions. Although a seller in the US might expect customers from all over the world to pay the same way that they do, it's just not the case. Germany loves PayPal, China loves Alipay, and the Netherlands love Ideal. These various payment methods make selling complex. Take Paddle's director of product, Lucas Lovell. He knows a thing or two about selling internationally. He's done it himself, and he's seen every payment method under the sun.
There are lots of different local payment methods that are popping up in different countries around the world. QR codes are being used very heavily in lots of Asian countries to power certain types of payments. I was just in Kenya, and everyone uses this payment method called M-Pesa. And M-Pesa is designed to enable the transition of value between two parties who don't have bank accounts.
Benco's success with selling online could also lead us down the popular path of starting a subscription. With recurring revenue coming in month over month and various contract lengths and packaging offers, selling apples has more moving parts than ever before. Data compliance and payment failure rates need to be checked alongside compliance with recurring sales taxes from customers all over the world. It's a workload that quite honestly can become overwhelming to sellers like Benco.
How do you move money from somebody sitting at a computer wanting to buy your thing in France? How do you get that money almost instantaneously over to Benco, in the state? Testing a card multiple times, or routing the payment through different rails to make sure it gets accepted, or routing the payment through different rails to make sure it comes through as quickly as possible, things like that.
So how do we at Benco help streamline our finances and remove the headaches and focus on growing the best apples in the world? Well, I'm biased, but I would suggest that Benco uses a merchant of record.
We take that burden from people. You guys go focus on developing your product. Go focus on your marketing strategy, and we got this for you. And then let's team up and go.
You don't have to use Paddle's services. This is all possible doing so piecemeal. But by setting up a merchant of record, a third party is going to handle all the hard stuff so that you don't have to worry about it. It's not getting easier anytime soon either. With cryptocurrency and new payment technologies sprouting up, the future is looking more complicated than ever before.
The big thing that we'll start to see more of is how customer experiences get built on top of the underlying payments technology. We start to see really unique and creative ways moving value between different parties through really creative methods.
Click button, get thing. That's the promise of a product that just works. If you need apples, a car to the airport, entertainment, the solve should be easy. On the seller side, you've now seen what sort of complexity has to go into the structure behind this simplicity. But that doesn't mean that it should be difficult for the merchant as well. You've seen how we got here. You know what goes into a transaction. You've seen them evolve. Now, you can go learn more by checking out Paddle for more information. My name is Ben Hillman, and I'll see you next time.